Terrifier 3 finally released, but does it live up to the hype? With high anticipation, I went to watch Art the Clown create some chaos for Miles County on opening night. Did I leave happy? Is this movie worth your time and hype? Stick around and find out. Welcome back, I'm Sippin, and after watching Terrifier 3, I would have to say it's a crazy movie. If you plan on seeing it, viewer discretion is advised. It does not hold back. Not in the slightest. But before we get into it, don't worry, this will be a spoiler-free review. The review containing all of the spoilers will be released later this week. But with that being said, everything I kept seeing about the movie, it kept emphasizing how insane and crazy the first 10 minutes are. Damien Leone even said himself it's on the levels of Scream and When a Stranger Calls. So safe to say, I was curious and excited. I was wondering if it's truly as wild as people were saying, and it's wild for sure, but a certain scene is as artfully done as artfully Art the Clown can be.
What?
Behind you! Look!
Oh my god!
Speaking of Art the Clown, he is as creative as ever before, and he experiments more this third go around, which creates some interesting kill scenes, as those are one of the driving factors to this franchise's popularity. Also, he is as brutal as ever. For those of you that have seen Terrifier 2, then you know how intense that alley bedroom scene was, and this movie has a few kills on par with that one, so it really makes a name for itself. One of which was that chainsaw scene shown in the trailers. That thing had me, my friend, and the whole theater screaming. To put it into perspective with just how bloody this film is, I kid you not, at least 10 people got up and walked out of the theater unable to handle the intense scenes. And they didn't leave at the same time, it was sporadic. So a few here and a few there. Sadly, no one threw up, but perhaps they left because they felt the rising of their lunches. As with every entry into the franchise, the practical effects are perfection with gooey nastiness tied with the amazing sound design, creating a truly unsettling feeling as you watch someone be dismantled by a chuckling Art the Clown. But since I powered through the guts and glory with enjoyment, and if you're enjoying this video, then please consider hitting that like button and subscribing so you can check out my spoiler review when that drops. But moving on from some of the kills, let's talk about the one dishing them out, Art the Clown. He is yet again a sight to behold. He has quickly become a horror icon, and in Terrifier 3, he further sets that into stone. There's moments where you fear him, moments where he grosses you out, and moments where he makes you laugh. Art the Clown easily steals the show thanks to the actor David Howard Thornton's phenomenal performance. Although Art has never spoken a word, his performance is nevertheless amazing. The way he uses his face to show a wide range of emotions to his mannerisms to express his feelings is just top notch. And I truly hope he gets more recognition as an actor in the future. That being said, most of the returning cast fell into this category. Sienna, Victoria, Jonathan, many of them just performed really well. Lauren Lavera as Sienna Shaw knocked it out of the park as she truly becomes a badass final girl. She has some scenes where she's able to really flesh out her character and range, as we see her character reeling from the events of the last film. With that being said, some of the newcomers joining the fray were also welcomed additions. Specifically, the new family dynamic with Sienna living with her Aunt Jessica, her husband Greg, and their kid Gabby. To me, they mesh really well with the standard "can we trust them" aspect brewing in the minds of the parents. For those of you that know, I enjoyed the first Terrifier for what it was worth, but there was no real plot, having a flat story with not so great actors, but ever since then, everything has been improving. Speaking of the story, it's one of the only negatives about it. I enjoyed the story, but there's certain decisions and choices that I myself wasn't a huge fan of, one of which happens near the end. If you enjoyed the story of Terrifier 2, then you will enjoy it here, as it is more of the same. It's nothing crazy good, but it has taken another step in the right direction. Terrifier 1 never really had much of a story at all, and then Terrifier 2 really fleshed out the world, where we meet our final girl Sienna along with her brother Jonathan as they face off against the titular clown. In Terrifier 3, they expand on their story, more so for Sienna and Art, rather than Jonathan, as he kind of takes a surprising backseat in this movie, only having a few scenes. But those few scenes were fun and enjoyable, and shout out to actor Elliot Fulham as they really grew into a great actor. But back to Sienna and Art. We learn more of Sienna's past and her connections to Art the Clown. And with Art, we learn some of their backstory, who they are, and how they came to be. It's nothing fully confirmed yet, but it is heavily implied and teased about during the film. And I'm sure with the arrival of the eventual Terrifier 4, we will see these rumors and stories confirmed about Art, as to letting us know for sure who and what he is. The ending was a little too much for my liking, but it was straight balls to the wall fun. The lead up was great, with Sienna and Art battling it out, winner takes all type shit. But in all seriousness, it does the steps it needs to take in order to set up for the 4th installment. With everything being said, it's time to rate this thing. Including everything, I would rate this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. If I was going on pure enjoyment factor, I would give it an 8 out of 10. But with the type of story they are wanting to tell, it's not typically my go-to option. But here in this setting, it's okay with me, as this series is about craziness and over-the-top kills, which it delivers on both fronts. Do you plan on checking out Terrifier 3? Let me know down in the comments. And stay tuned for my spoiler review for the film, where I go more in depth on specific scenes. But as always, I appreciate you and your time. Stay chill, and I will see you next time.